Red light, red light.
The red light is on, and you know what? It's Tuesday. You know what that means.
It's
It's time
Tuesday.
for championship culture. But here, you
Yes,
know I
sir.
gotta bring your attention to one thing. You ready for this?
What's that? What's that, man? You always gotta bring your attention to
Yep.
something, man. What's up?
Now, in January of 2024, Impact
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling took their level of championships to a next level. They
Mm-hmm.
introduced new belt designs, and it sent shockwaves through the whole wrestling world that we're still talking about today. But in January of 2025, a new version of one of my favorite championships debuted. You know which one that is?
Well, we all know. We all know for
We already
sure.
know the one over my shoulder, the one
Yes, sir. Yes,
that
sir.
okay. But you know what?
Yes, sir.
Before we get to indeed, let's get to this conversation. Let's get to
I'm
it.
about to say, let's get it.
Let's just get to it. Oh, buddy. Well, welcome to
Mm-hmm.
the Wrestling World Presents Season 3 of Championship Culture. I'm Brandon the Guy, and he is none other than
Oh, you want me to
H to
say
the
this?
A. Go ahead, yeah, go ahead. None other than
Oh, it's Hasthe to 3RD. That's the way you say it. You see how smooth
H
it
to the A
was?
to the S to the T to the H to the E
Oh
to the
my
3
gosh.
to
All
the
right.
R to the D. Brother has the third. Better known as Brother Hugh. Welcome, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome, welcome,
Now,
welcome.
if they can't tell, we have it seems like I don't want to say a fixation, but we kind of been dealing with this X Division Championship, right? But
Mm-hmm.
we said it was probably a belt that was going to be gone too soon last week. And lo and behold, on Sunday, it's not necessarily gone, but it's a different version, right? A whole
Mm-hmm.
different look, a different feel. And when it comes to belts being made, there's a lot of factors to consider. We got to think about the creative process, some inspiration, the technical challenges, what's the meaning behind certain things, like does the strap matter? Does it get a tip? You know. But in order to talk about this, I don't want to call it a custom belt because it has so many elements that are parts of, how we see when belts get upgraded, parts of the old, but still something new, something modern. It has a new feel, right? But who better
Mm-hmm.
than to tell us about the story behind this belt than the man
Mm-hmm.
that created it? You know who that is? A man with
Who's
the
that?
same name as me. We're going to introduce the CEO and owner of Snaps and Straps. Who better to help us than the person behind the belt? Let's welcome him to championship culture for, I think this is the third time.
Yeah, third
This
time.
third,
First
third
time this
time's the
season.
charmer.
Oh,
First time this
oh
season.
yeah, first time this season. Second time. Yeah. Let's bring him in, bro.
Yeah, let's bring it up. All right.
What's going on, brother?
Why is he hiding this?
I like it. I like it. I like it. I
He's
love the
being like you.
energy.
He's being like you. No comment. He has no comment.
He got it. Right.
He's got a gag order.
He's only here
So,
so he won't get fined.
yeah, he's only here. Now, look, watch. You got to fix his beard. Fix the beard. Fix the beard. Let him have it.
Yeah,
There
it's
you
Going
go.
coming. There
on,
it is. There it is.
fellas?
That's his
What's
signature
going
move.
on, man? It's been a while, brother.
How y'all doing tonight, man? Thank y'all for
We good,
having me
man. We
on
good.
again.
For
Absolutely.
those who may be tuning in for the first time and those that may not know, who exactly is the man behind Snaps and Straps LLC? Who could that be?
It's me.
Yeah, yeah, that's you. Tell the people a little bit about yourself. Let me hear about you.
What's going on, YouTube and world? I'm Brandon. I am the owner of Snaps and Straps. We have been around for, I say, 4 years now. We customize in championship belts and we make championship belts for wrestlers and promotions all across the country.
Absolutely.
Now, is this for indies or all promotions? Because you know a lot of people hear wrestling belts and they're like, "Oh, it's not WWE. Oh, it's not AEW," which I know you can't talk about. But
It won't be WWE for a while. I'm sure. But yes, we've been on AEW. We've been on Impact. So this past Sunday, we've been on TNA. And we are pretty much on all major independent promotions, other than GCW, which is a household belt making company. They do stuff in house, so that won't ever be touched. And there's a couple more that I'm not associated with yet. So.
oh, keyword, yeah, huh? We're gonna hold you to that.
It's gonna be a big year for us and just all around who we're working with, and I think we got 24 belts lined up here to March or April. So yeah, a lot of things in store, a lot of surprises, and we're excited to showcase them.
Well, speaking of surprises, and I'm not going to take Hughes Thunder, but Sunday we were all frantically waiting to see what was going to happen. You know, because certain wrestlers said, "I'm debuting a new belt." So the last time he said that, we got the white strap TNA Heavyweight Championship, right? Very similar to the old, but you know, as you like to say, does the strap matter? And in that case, the strap did matter because the white strap just brought a whole different feel to it. But this time, we got a whole nother version of that famous X-Division title that we have been loving. And I understand that you have said belt with you. Is that true?
Yeah, I might, usually when we make belts for promotions, me being a belt collector first, I, of course, had mine made. So this is your current TNA X-Division Championship.
Now, is that 24 karat gold? Because that gold is shining. Hold it up for a second. I don't know if people can actually see it, because a lot of times when you get certain gold plated, the shine doesn't really have a mirror reflection to it. It has to be, I think, 24 karat gold or above, right? Well, not above, but more than just 4 millimeter zinc. It has to be 24 karat gold plated. So on that belt, it looks like a lot going on. But first thing I want to start with, what was the inspiration behind this said version of the championship?
Well, if you don't know, for the people watching, I am pretty much Moose's belt maker. So whenever Moose wins a belt that is important, he hits me up and we get to work on it. Now, I did hear some things. I'm not going to get into detail, but this was a approved thing by TNA, and when we got the okay to do this, we took the opportunity and ran with it. And Moose had a certain specifications he wanted with the belt. He wanted the system. He wanted his iconic Moose logo on the strap, and then he wanted red backing. And then he wanted the strap to be gold. So in the process of this, we don't paint straps due to the crack and peeling. It just really just makes the belt, just my opinion, trashy. A leather strap makes the belt in some cases, and this typical color, when you put it on cowhide, which this was gold dye, you get this effect of it. We saw a lot of orange, we saw a lot of burnt color. We saw, there was a lot of misinterpretation out there. So just to clarify, it's a gold dye. So like I said, we don't paint due to the crack and peel. So this is the effects of dye, and we think it turned out pretty fucking good.
That's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask you to show off that leather work.
Yes.
Because you got a special guy over there that does some phenomenal work with the leather.
Right here, my guy.
There you go.
Leather. all handcrafted, never pressed, plated or pressed, whatever these guys do. I don't know that life. All I know is this man pounds away for hours and hours on end in our shop. So yeah, shout out to him and all of his hard work and all of the amazing craftsmanship he produces time and time again.
So where did the gold come from? Because the silver seems to be, I don't want to say TNA's default, but a lot of times, for a while, silver was their big thing, and now we only had X-Division and the tag belts with silver. So what was the thought of the gold behind it this time instead of being silver, making it gold?
Well, Moose is, the face of the franchise. So what other way to represent face of the franchise by representing the franchise with a gold belt? So, it's fit for Moose, and, that's what he wanted. And so we did every way possible to accommodate that. And he was happy with it. We were happy with it. Everybody that was important to this was happy with it. So, yeah.
So according to Justin,
Interesting.
he said that belt looks crispy with 2 fire emojis. And then our friends over there, Boom Barcast, said the biggest catchphrase of the night. Everybody has a story. So I believe that might be
on display, so you don't have to see my ugly face. Here we go. Hold on. Here, I'll just hide.
You got to put the mask back on.
Nobody wants to see
we can't hear. If you put the mask on, we can't hear. So as you talk about that championship that you have there, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to it, right? What was the most challenging aspect of it? Because you have a belt that, I say in 2024, all of TNA's belts kind of like shocked the world. And how do you take a belt that was arguably probably anybody can say that was number 1 or number 2, 1A, 2B, whatever. It's very close to everybody's top best belt of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
What was the aspect of trying to keep that relevance and still have that same appeal? Because now, and you might agree, we might have a situation where just like the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the IWGP Intercontinental title, you're like, oh, which one is more important? So you get what I'm saying? So how did you keep that? Because right now, seeing it kind of look like it's just as important. Not to say the X-Division before didn't look like. It's always been the secondary title. Now we kind of have a situation where it's like the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title at times is more important than the World Championship. What was the thought process there?
Again, we just do what we're told, and Moose stated on TNA that he's going to be the greatest X Division champion, and his his title currently is the title. So like I said, he's the face of the franchise. He's the head honcho in TNA. So what other way, like I said, to showcase that and to showcase how he is as a person with all gold belt. So it just makes sense. It fits him and his vision of what he set out to do, and that is to be the best X Division champion ever. And honestly, the whole weight thing, like, you guys are forgetting that Willie Mack was the X Division champion.
Right.
Outweighs
no limits
by maybe 100 pounds. Like, I don't know how. Like, so like we're gonna sit there and criticize one of the best wrestlers in TNA, because he's not a high flyer. Like I said, previous champions, Rohit Raju, he wasn't a high flyer. He's a technical wrestler. You had Chris Bay, which I mean, you can consider a high flyer. Trey Miguel, you consider a high flyer, but I don't think they would call themselves high flyers. It's just, seeing that, just makes it even more satisfying that what he's trying to set out and do, is to make this title the most important title, in TNA. So, that's just his vision. I'm not speaking for him. I'm not, speaking for anybody, but, in my personal opinion, I think that's what he's set out to do. I mean, he said it point blank in his, in the TV tapings, what he set out to do. So, people can have their, opinion on what, what a X-Division champion should weigh and, their attributes to what they bring to wrestling. But I mean, I think for the majority of our people are pretty happy that Moose is, the X-Division champion, and he can cash in at any time he wants. So, it's just fun to sit back and watch what TNA is doing and what they're doing with his character. It's pretty cool.
It's it. A lot of people don't realize the X Division meant no limits, no weight class, no X, Y, and Z, because Samoa Joe was what 6'2", about 280. Moose is 6'5",
300.
maybe 290,
About to say,
290, 300. You know what I mean? But he's 6'5". Nobody really realizes how tall he is, but it's always been the no limit class.
He's tall. He's fucking tall.
And it's his birthday twin posed the question. So when a belt is made, does the wrestler / company have the original belt, or does the creator have the original belt? So I guess, does Moose have the original, or do you have the original? The first one that was made, I guess.
TNA has it.
Okay.
When he threw it out of the ring, they collected it. I know he left without an X Division belt, and he came to the arena with the new X Division belt. I know that.
Because I know in like
Now-
WWE, when the sorry, go ahead.
No, good. You good? Good. Finish it.
No, because I know like in
I didn't
WWE,
know.
when they win the championship, they get that one belt that they can keep. And I guess TNA doesn't do the same because they're a smaller promotion, but they
Well, what
try to keep.
WWE used to do for the wrestlers, if the wrestlers wanted the belt, for instance, Miz, when he was champion, he brought out the replica championship to wear it to the ring so that he could take it home. I know,
Yeah, the
and that's
Miz
probably
did.
why what Cody Rhodes did too, as to why he wore that replica Winged Eagle out, was because he wanted to take it home. So, you have more, once it's like the opposite of a car, a brand new car. So once you buy a car and you take it off the lot, it's lost half its value. So when you bring a championship belt to the ring and then you take it out of the ring, the value of that has surpassed the original price of what it was. So because it's a ring used belt. So we've had a Impact Rascals tag team belt sell for 10 G's on eBay. So I mean, that ring attribute that belt has is more significant to, the wrestlers. Because I'll tell you right now, like, a wrestler's not going to pay $1,300 for a belt. They'll literally go to Pakistan and get one made for $130 because it's going up on their wall. It's going in their trophy case.
It's display.
It's a display belt. So that's one thing, a lot of people will misconstrue too, is the sense like, oh, these wrestlers are dropping thousands of dollars on the belt. Like, no, they're not. So we do the best we can to hook them up, and we give them the quality like a ring belt you would get from a company. So, and that's why we have so many wrestling clients, so it
Right.
goes hand in hand when, you wonder how, I only deal with wrestlers and promotions. I don't sell belts to, like you guys, no offense, that's not what our company does. I had an agenda when I first did this 4 years ago that we were going to be different from everybody else, and we set out and we've done that so far. So, the criticism or, whatnot of our product, it speaks for itself. When 4 years into it, I've been on every major one. So, it's fun just sitting back and listening and not being involved, because we do have an advocate where I'll get in my feels, and I might start getting at the fingers a little bit. And so we have a policy where if I want to post anything, I have to send it to him first, and then he gives me the yes or no. So it's very hard to bite my tongue and just kind of watch how things develop. Because again, if people are taking their time out of their day to talk about me, then, as Young Jeezy would say, I'm living in their head rent free. So
there it is. There it is. There it is. You just answered my question. That was my question exactly. I was like, are you satisfied with what you've seen so far as the feedback on the title? But yeah, you just answered it straight up. So yeah.
And we
I
got
say 90% has been positive. 97% has been a positive feedback.
Right.
And that's speaking on statistics, and from the looks of it and analytics, it's pretty good. We're happy, and we're not looking to please anybody. We're not looking to make anybody happy. Like we had a job. I think we did the job pretty well, and now we're on to our next belt. We don't sit here and fathom about what we did. It's in the past already. It already happened Sunday. It happened 2 days ago, and we're already on like our third or fourth belt. Like it's in the books. The pages turned, and we're on to something else.
On to the next one, right?
Yep.
And off the topic question, because Justin wanted to know, where did you get your belt display case from? He said, I like the black.
Amazon, my guy. I will send you the link. You can post it here at the bottom.
Cool.
They are the most durable, reliable pieces of plastic and little baby metal bar I've ever had. I set all my belts in there. I mean, none of them are really falling or bending, or I think you have the Amazon cage version back there.
Yeah, but mine is a little bit smaller. Yours looks like it's a little wider.
Yeah, you got a little bit more kid to it.
You went to the same one, but there's a version of the black. There's a black version, and I think like a clear version, and then there's a cage version of what you got.
Because I think that's what Ben has. I think he has that one too, the cage version.
And like I said, I set up lights, so you see like lights showing up every now and again back there, and then like if I turn like these little things on, these like little show like lights and stuff. Got these on Amazon. Because what I used to do was I used to put the wrestlers. They used to have the belt, and I used to put both wrestlers on each side of my favorite match, and then that belt.
The way you gonna love that.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I started seeing everybody do it, and I was like, all right, gotta change it up. So, I had to go to this kind of version where I just set them all up. And, I think my inspiration with this was Belts by Dan. He has in his office, behind him is office, the belts that he's done. So, I think that's where I got my idea from. So.
Well, we're going to take a break for a second so we can hear from our sponsors, but trust me, we'll be right back because every belt has a story. Yeah, did that, Eve?
If you're looking to purchase tickets to concerts, live shows, sporting events, and more, head over to SeatGeek.com where you can use our promo code Wrestling Realm for any one-time purchase of $50 or more. That's promo code Wrestling Realm on any one-time purchase of $50 or more.
See, that wasn't too bad because, well, before we dive into our next topic, I should we say this to the end? Should we say this to the end?
Let it rock. You already got it on the screen.
All right. So the question was posed: how do you feel if someone did what PCO did to the digital media title for one of yours? Is it disrespectful to smash the title, even if it's a workhorse sheet? Oh, Mr. Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez. Oh, I got a feeling about that
someone
one too.
Had to bring it up, didn't they? Someone had to bring it up, didn't they?
So this is the founder. This is the founder from Four Sides of the Ring. Who's birthday twin? Who's favorite? The founder of Four Sides of the Ring.
He's gonna have to
So
contact.
you,
He's gonna have to
because
contact this guy.
yeah,
Look
so
at-
he's got to be. So let me answer that for you. I'm gonna say this. I've had somebody take a design that I came up with and slap a promotion on it, and I felt so disrespected because the maker gave the design away. And when I say gave it away, I hand drew, and he knows this story very well.
Yeah.
So seeing that and seeing it's almost as bad as somebody taking your belt and destroying it. So I don't care if it's a work or a shoot. It's the fact that it's like almost like watching your house burn down. It's like watching somebody destroy your car in a car wreck. You're not happy about it. You're like, okay, at least with a car wreck, you know it's an accident. You know, it wasn't meant to happen. But if somebody intentionally take your car and run it into a wall, you're gonna be like, why? Why would you do that? So, oh, I'm sorry, that's not the. I apologize. It's the other. It's the other one. It's the brother of the founder. He's not the founder. I do that all the time. I call Martin Marcus all the time because Martin and Marcus are brothers, and that's why I call Marcus. I call Martin Marcus all the time. But I think he's ready to answer. What you think?
So this is gonna be. Oh man! All right, about the whole PCO thing. I know the real story behind it and the reason. I just being with what I do, I can't say it legally. I guess you could say. So no comment on that. If you want to privately message me, I can give you a little detail, but I can't say anything on air. And I don't know if this is 100% true, but this is coming from a very, very reliable source. And yeah, so we'll just leave it at that. And now for the whole disrespect of the belt thing, I got a few stories. I don't know if you remember. This is one of the first ones. So remember, Coley had the TNA Championship that Scorpio bought off of him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
He went when he was TNA champion. Remember, he had the Lakers one.
Yeah.
He had that Lakers one, whatever. Well, before that, there was the taping before he took a sledgehammer to that TNT title. Well, guess whose belt that was? That was Coley's. So if you want to ask a fan of him that when he contacted him about the belt, dude was like on cloud nine. He's like, dude, Scorpio just hit me up for the belt. Like he told me about it. And I was like, dude, that's awesome, man. Yeah, he wants it. Do you think he's going to use it in the ring? I was like, possibly, bro, until maybe his custom one comes. And so it was all for just a TV shoot. He bought the belt off of him and fucking destroyed it. So that's something you can ask Coley, next time you see him or talk to him. And then, so our first belt, I got a couple stories. I'll do it real quick. But the first belt we did was Trey Miguel's X-Division belt when he spray painted it. He had bought that from us. And he had messaged me and he said, hey, is it cool if I spray paint the X-Division belt? I'm turning heel and I want to spray paint it. And I was like, goddamn, pulling some NWO vibes because nobody spray painted a belt.
And that's the first thing I thought. I was like, oh.
Right.
It's been 25 years since somebody spray painted a belt. So like he being a part of that, I was like, fuck yeah, dude, you want spray paint, do whatever the fuck you want with it. I was like, you'll just get a new one. And so and he ended up getting a new one. But when he had that belt, his original idea was that he wanted a red strap on the back, a red backing. So when TNA told him, they're like, yeah, it's okay, you can do it, but we got to change the backing. So Trey got a hold of us, and he lives in Toledo. Well, he used to live in Toledo, and he hit up Kane, my partner, and Kane's about an hour-ish away from him, if that. And he literally drove to our shop and gave him the belt so he could work on it. drove home, and then drove back the next day to get it because it only took Kane like 24 hours to get it done, less than 24 hours to do it. So he got a picture with him, and you know that was a really cool moment for him. You know, being able to meet Kane, you know, meet Trey personally, and being an Ohio native, you know, it really meant a lot to him. Yeah, that was one. So that was pretty cool. It was in a documentary when Trey Little had his documentary on YouTube. And then this fucking Philadelphia company, piece of shit, trash, fucking, yeah, excuse my language. This cocksucker, bro. This motherfucker. Man, dude, this really chaps my fucking ass. So this guy goes, I go and this, his friend from another promotion, I'm not gonna say, vouches for this guy, and says, oh, this guy's got good for it. He's got money, da 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 da. So we end up doing the deal, and he's like, well, I'm expecting big money from this one show. I'll pay you. Can we do a down payment on this first belt? Yada yada yada. So we do this first belt for him. Mind you, we got all the artwork done for his new line of belts. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was 6 belts. So we end up making all of them. And this was my rookie mistake, being new to the industry and how this works. It's a pirate seat. It's literally like pirates. So when I got all these belts done, I said, hey, you got that money? All the belts are done. We're ready to ship them out. Oh, I went in the hospital, and then the next week after that, my wife said I'm not allowed to spend any more money this week. Next week was I'm back in the hospital. The next week was I'm still in the hospital. I'll get you the money. So it was time after time after time after time. So about 3 months go by, and I was like, listen, dude, like, just forget it. I'm gonna have to just take a loss on it. Thanks a lot for screwing me over. So luckily, one of my friends has a men's beauty pageant, and he ended up buying all the belts off of me and just recreating them and critiquing them himself to make them pageant belts. So that saved us, but it was still a loss. And not even 2 months later, my business partner is a very good detective with wrestling rumors and news and all that stuff. So he goes and finds the company that we were supposed to be doing these belts for. All of our belts are done. They have them, but they're cheaper versions. They're on, the Pakistan straps. I think they're like 2mm plates. They're just really done cheap. So this jackass goes and steals our artwork and goes and makes belts. So, some people might call me a hypocrite because when I first started, I was going around looking for designers, and I found this designer overseas. And it was funny. I sent him $50 for 2 designs that were on the sheet, and he agreed to the one, but the other one was like, oh, well, this one's really special to me. This one's going to cost more. And I said, how do you figure when you just sent me the sheet with all the price? You said every belt on here is $25. I picked that one. Now all of a sudden it's $100. I was like, make it make sense. And so he's like, well, that's just one of my favorite belts. And so I was like, okay, well, how about I just take it and then I'll redesign it myself. Since I already paid you for it, it kind of makes logical sense that you gave me the option to take this. I'm gonna take it. I paid you for it. I don't know what to say. So a number 1 fan of mine goes and tries to use that as against me in a video, and it was actually the completely wrong belt. It was actually the belt that we paid for, and try to chop it up like it wasn't that one. So you have people that will go out of their way and spend the whole entire day of
Right.
trying to drag you down and discredit you as a person, not the belt. When a belt review turns into an attacking of the person who made the belt, there's something seriously wrong with you. So again, I hope this person seeks mental help, and maybe a cosplay Power Ranger outfit might help him. I can maybe send him to lighten the mood. I don't know, but
Hey,
anyway.
I don't have the bombs, but I don't have the boom boom. I don't have the bombs. Hey, bruh, do your thing though. Talk your talk.
So that's all I'm gonna say about that. But we thank you for putting us on, as they say, and me getting to someone so bad that they have to make a 20-minute video about me. It means a lot. Like, I thank them for helping me and
Absolutely.
putting me on. So
That's all you can do at the end of the day, right? It's a compliment.
But yeah, as we bask in our glories, you just keep making videos about me, man. Appreciate it.
I do have a question though.
Um,
Do y'all happen to dabble into like other industries besides wrestling? Maybe
We
mixed martial
actually
arts,
have
boxing.
we've been tiptoeing in the country world, man.
Hey, that's what I like to hear.
We have made belt buckles for country singer Bree Carter. She is an up and coming country star. She's been on the CMAs. We actually I was sick at the time. My mom actually got to hand deliver in the green room the belt buckles we did for her. So she got to meet all the country singers, and it was a very awesome moment for my mom because she actually helped us with the deal. So I
Right.
was glad that she got to be a part of that and got to have that experience of delivering something to that person. And they're best friends now, and we've got to hang out with her. We're considered family now, so that's really cool when you make a business deal and you end up being really good friends, after the fact. And we've also Young Gravy. He's another popular guy. We did 2 belt buckles for him. That was really cool. So we've had people ask some things. We actually recently had Trey ask for something. I can't say what it was, but we unfortunately couldn't pull it off. And we're on a time sensitive schedule right now up till April, so it was really hard to fit him in. But yeah, we dabble in a lot of stuff. We're at rodeos. My belt buckles, they're at rodeos. They sell pretty well. Usually do about 100 belt buckles for a rodeo show, and they're all gone by the end of it. So
Right.
our belt buckles are really big. We don't do your average small 3x3, 3x5 belt buckle.
Right.
We do a 6x4, or they're pretty big. They come, you're holding them like this, and that's what they want. They want that gaudy look, just the way country is going into now. It's the big belt buckles and the rims on the truck, and
Everything is big in country, from what I hear.
So it's the country scene has definitely changed, and so we're glad to be involved in that too. So like I said, we're just not in belts. We're all over. So
Okay.
football,
I like to
high
hear.
school football, college football. Like I said, we've been everywhere.
well, we do want to address some of these comments because the actual founder want to know any other TNA titles that you made.
We did a custom TNA heavyweight for Moose, but due to people getting let go of TNA, the deal fell through, and that agreement didn't happen. So, that's just part of the business. It's nothing personal. So yeah, we've done that one, and that's it for TNA. But for the Impact, we've done we did the spray paint Rascals tag team belt. That was the last Impact show before they switched over to TNA. And then the one I talked about before was the Impact spray paint X-Division.
The Trey Miguel.
And what's cool is at that time when he was champion, they made cards, and he's on the card with our belt.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know about the cards.
So it's official when you got a card.
This is a good one, and this is actually part of the initial. But we might as well get to it now. What belt made you get into this business? And I think he means by the belt making business. What belt made you get into the business?
WCW.
I wouldn't say a belt. If people don't really know of me, I was one of the original 4 in the whole country that had every single Figs Inc. Championship belt. From WCW to ECW to WWF. I had every single one you could think of. And that's how I kind of got put on. And then how this whole company started was I was at the Impact show in Slammiversary when post-COVID, when fans were allowed back into the arena. This was the studios. This was Skyway Studios in Nashville, where they had their tapings at during COVID. So that's where actually their home base is. TNA is in Nashville. Same with AEW. So when we got there, being the belt collector that I am, I attached all my belts to the guardrail. And before the show, Scott D'Amore had walked down to the ring and looked at all the belts and got on his microphone, and he's like, "Why in the fuck are all of our belts on the guardrail?" And so Ingrid, the floor manager, was like, "Those aren't ours, those are his." And so he got back up and he looked at me and he looked at the belts. He said, "Nice looking belts," and he just walked away. So then, not even like 10 seconds later, he was named Josh, the vice president, back in 4 years ago. He used to wrestle and stuff, but he was a commentator too. And then he went to a suit. He came out and he was like, "We can take all these belts from you," and da da da. And I was like, I don't think you can. But
wait, he said he could take them all. He said he could take some that belong to you, but okay.
Yeah, so technically he said those are his property and yada yada yada. So I was like a Fifth Amendment kind of thing. So he was like, "Oh, your legal stuff," and I was like, "Well, I know you guys are a Canadian-based company too, so I mean legally this is the U.S., so I don't know where that would stand." And he was like, "So how much do you charge for them?" And at that time I was just belt collector. I had no fucking clue. And I was like, "I don't know, like 700." And he's like, And he walks away, comes back, and he's like, "Hey, would you want to come back tomorrow and have a meeting?" And I was like, "Sure." And I was like, "Do I get tickets?" And he was like, "Yeah, same spots. We'll put you right here." And I was front row. And I was like, "Sure, okay." So
there it is.
I go back to the show the next day post Slammiversary, and I go into the back and I put all the belts on the table, and Scott D'Amore taps me on the shoulder, and he's like, "Hey man, how's it going?" He's stirring his coffee, drinking it, and I was like, "What's good?" And he's like, "These are nice looking belts I saw yesterday." And I was like, "Yeah, I appreciate it." And so he goes and grabs. They're all looking at him. There's a couple other executives. I'm not gonna say any names, but you know they're looking at the belts, and they said, how did you get them so exact to ours? And I was just like, I just pay attention to detail. Growing up as a kid, I used to draw them with a pencil and crayons and construction paper. So I take pride in a wrestling belt. And they're like, would you be interested in having another meeting in Texas at Hard to Kill? And I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And so as we were wrapping up, Trey Miguel had tapped me on the shoulder, and this was before he won the X belt. He's like, hey, I'm about to win the X belt. Would you be able to make a custom belt for me so I could wear it? And I was like, sure, I got you. And he's like, do you have an Instagram? And I was like, nope. And he was like, well, hit me up when you make one. So literally, as I'm walking to my seats, I'm making an Instagram. And at that time, Kenny Omega had all those belts. So I was like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
He's the belt collector. I want to be the real belt collector. So that's when I made my name, the real belt collector. And I sit down and I was like, holy shit, I just made a sale. Like, not even, doing this. And so as the show progresses, Ace Austin comes down to the ring, sits up on the ring with Madman Fulton, and he's like, he looks at me, and he looks at the belts, and he jumps out of the ring mid-match, like the match is just about to start. Daniel Spencer's like, Ace, where are you going? And so he gets out of the ring, grabs my X-Division belt, and he's like, hey, can you make me one of these? And I was like, sure. And he's like, you got Instagram? I'm like, making it right now. And he's like, all right, hit me up. So my two first followers on Instagram were Trey Miguel and Ace Austin. So fast forward, we make these belts. Moose contacts us. He's like, hey, I'm about to win the Impact Heavyweight Championship. I want a custom belt. Can you make one for me? I saw, the ones you made for them, and they look really good. I was like, sure, man, I got you. So, just one thing after another, just kind of a snowball effect. And now I pretty much have all the wrestlers, non-WWE. If they win a belt, they hit me up if I'm not the actual maker of the belt. Because we are involved in a lot of independent promotions. I have pretty much all the major independent promotions that are from AEW, AEW, TNA, Ring of Honor. So, that's one thing that helped me too as a company was going to those indie shows, trying to promote myself. The first company I worked for, it took me 4 tries for them to give it, take a chance on me. 4 fucking times I annoyed this owner. I was like, hey man, because at that time their belt was the women's knockouts belt. That was their men's heavyweight belt, was the design of the TNA Knockouts Championship. So being a belt advocate that I am, I was like, we gotta fucking change this. I love this promotion. I love the show. All I hear negative though is your belts. So I was like, give me.
Sounds like a promotion we know here.
Huh?
Yeah.
It sounds like a promotion that we have here.
A couple of them.
So like I said, just 4 times, just asking, hey, give me a chance. No. Hey, give me a chance. No. Hey, give me a chance. No. Listen, give me a chance. Okay. So it took, like I said, again, 4 no's for him to say yes. And because of him, I'm where I'm at right now. So I am forever in debt to the owner of Coastal Championship Wrestling, Nelio. That dude is an A-class guy. He brings in the top talent from all promotions. He just had Malachi Black there last week wrestling. I don't know any other promotion that other than overseas that have had him on a non-major promotion. So he gets everybody. Brian Cage is a big wrestler that shows up there. a lot of the NWA guys, but he has such good talent on his own roster that he doesn't need to grab everybody. He'll just, here and there, he'll have a showcase where a talented wrestler that's in a big promotion shows up. So Rich Swann is going to be the next potential big star for CCW. So everybody knows who Rich Swann is. So,
we're familiar with him.
That just goes
guy
to
from
show.
Baltimore. Yeah.
Yeah, that just goes to show what kind of product. And he runs 2 shows on a night. He ran one last week. He ran one in Nashville where we were at, and then he ran one in Kissimmee, Florida. 2 shows going at the same time. Like, I don't know anybody else that can do that.
Hey, it's amazing stuff, man.
Look who's here. It's Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben, a good friend of the show from Championship Belt Brothers and Championship Figure Brothers. Welcome. So, here.
Yes, sir.
You know what I want to ask, right?
What you want to ask? You might as well ask.
We already
me.
asked. We already said every belt has a story, right? But what does the future hold for these belts? Because you keep saying 24, you keep saying busy. What can you share with us that might be coming down the pipeline? What can you share? Because everybody has a story, and we need to know.
I can tell you the promotions. We got Juggalo Championship Wrestling coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We have Chicago Elite. I want to say, I'm mistaken I'm sorry if I'm wrong. It's a wrestling company that's just starting out of Chicago. He's involved backstage with Heels Have Eyes and TNA. So this is kind of like his off-brand kind of showcasing. His name's Brandon also. So there's 3 brands.
Yeah, good man. That's a good guy. See how that works? Don't worry. It's okay. You love it.
We have XWLA Wrestling. They're a Mexican promotion. Very, very big in Mexico. They just put in a 6-belt order. Moose has been there. Andrade has been there. Calicio has been there. So usually their heavyweight or their main event is a big star. So this is a new promotion for us, but they've been around for a very long time. So we're excited to finally get a deal done with them. So we'll have 6 belts there. And then we have Pinnacle Championship Wrestling, another promotion out of Chicago. They are going to be like a Heels Have Eyes type of promotion, big stars, storyline, kind of like what Heels does with the storyline, kind of starting to unfold. And then we also have Juventud Guerrera's promotion, I can't remember. There's so many. It's a promotion out of Mexico. They're a minor league for AAA. So like NXT, WWE, you got this company, and then AAA. So another big belt that's going to debut. It's beautiful. I will say it's stacked. I will say that it's a stacked belt.
Well, he talking my language now, bro.
He talking dirty to you. All you gotta do is say it has a tip, and he's all in, literally.
And then we have Malachi Black. We have him coming up for a special belt for his wrestling training facility and what he's doing there.
Hey, Brandon, you said his wrestler return wrong. Go ahead and say it for him coming back. Where's he coming back to? Go ahead and tell us. I know you heard me. Go ahead. You said wrestling training. You meant where he's coming back to, but it's okay. We almost got you.
No, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want to, I will tell you, I did something for him that the company he used to work for didn't make for him. Yeah, so we'll just leave it at that.
So he used to work for AEW. He used to work for WWE. So you did something that WWE didn't do. Is that make the title metal? Because
No
Triple H likes
titles.
the metal thing.
No titles were made. That's a rule. No copyright belts. That's one rule I
No,
stick
I'm
by.
saying you could have gave his own NXT champion. Something with metal and chains and
We'll just
darkness.
leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that. But he's awesome. He actually got a hold of me when I dropped the video on the House of Black figures with our belts being in them.
Yeah.
That's also something that's really fucking cool for that was always a goal of mine as a kid when you would buy the action figure and it had that cheap belt, in it. It was the big gold, but it was a belt, so fast forward 30 years later, here I am about to have a action figure with our belt showcased in it. Like it's awesome.
That has to be
such a cool
awesome.
feeling. And I actually have this just to show. This is the actual legal document from AEW for the House of Black Trios belts. So
There it is.
Show House of Black Trios belts service agreement.
He's official.
So I don't want to hear all those naysayers say that we go behind companies' backs and get belts made. The wrestlers do. That's a crock of shit. So you have to get the approval of the company before you make a belt. So and that starts from Tony Khan. That starts from the owner of TNA, creative. All aspects. You can't just go off and be like, oh, I'm gonna make this guy a belt. It don't work like that. So for that rumor that that's false narrative. So just wanted to clarify that up too.
Yeah. There it is. Man, laid it
What
down
else you got for him? Yeah, what else you got for him?
I think he just set it off. He just set it off,
man. See
man.
the belt again. For those who might be joining us, because the viewers would have, I think they need to see the belt again. And let's see that belt, because this belt, it's something about how. Oh look, he got a tip on it. You see that? You see the tip? On the snap silver or gold?
I love the tooling, man. Gold.
Okay, yeah, it's gold. Solid silver tip. Oh, look at that backing. Red. Is that croc backing?
Croc skin.
Yeah, red croc backing. Oftentimes you'll see that on a lot of custom belts to separate them from the standard on the stock belts. A lot of times the croc backing will signify, more than just a standard belt.
But now we painted the outside gold. So I don't know if you can tell. Let me try to get an angle on this lighting here.
Okay, we can see the gold. Yeah, because from a distance it look a little black.
Yeah.
So that's the paint. So we wanted to clarify with that's gold edges. So again, when you add the gold dye, and then I can't give away what we do, but there's a coating that goes over. You got to coat the belt after you dye it. So when you coat it, the color is going to change. So when you add gold dye onto a cowhide strap with the liquid that goes on after, that's the effect.
So for those that might be watching, most cowhides start off as like a tan, light brown, correct? Yeah. And think about when you're staining wood. The stain will be one color when you're staining it, and then when it dries, it becomes a different. So when you're dyeing a material, it will start as one color, but might appear as a different one. So there you have it, a Moose Edition. That's what we're gonna call it, the Moose Edition of the
face of the
Oh,
franchise.
the
call
TNA
it what
X-Division
we call it.
Championship.
What we call it? We called it what? The
The
gold
mustache,
standard, right?
the gold standard for
Gold
the X
standard.
Division.
The
Looks like
system
it's
gold
24
standard.
in the snap box with the system. Is that stitched in red or is that
No,
stamped
that's
and painted?
stamped. Yes,
It's
that's
stamped
stamped.
and then painted.
All hand, by hand. No press plating. We don't do any of that shit.
Once again, shout out
my
to Kane,
guy
bro.
is down hours and hours on end, pounding away on a strap.
Now hold it up so they
Everything
can
you
see in that
see-
snap box. It has the moose in it, his actual logo. His the moose actual logo. I'm sorry, Moose's actual logo, which is a moose. Ooh, that was a tongue twister. With the property plate for Anthem Sports and gold plates that make it definitely when the TV lights hit it, it made me say, "Oh, well, there's a belt for
Yeah,
you."
it makes you pay
Um,
attention for sure. Yeah,
yes, and I think that we're about to get into this debate in the next couple of months of which belt is more important, because depending on who's opening the show, who's closing the show, I mean, the only
I know
person.
where you motherfuckers live.
I'm clipping that off.
So, we definitely are going to probably see this belt a lot more.
I'm
We're
watching
gonna see.
you.
Oh my god, bro.
You're gonna see
I'm
this
not
belt.
trying to scare you guys. I'm not trying to scare you guys into saying that this is the best one. Come on, guys. I'm a chill
Hey,
guy.
bro.
I'm just a chill guy that likes
Hey.
to make wrestling belts.
I'm just telling you, when you compare it now to when you see that, and look who got this version, Joe Hendry has it. It's going to be a comparison like, wait a minute, which one is more important? Who's to a casual viewer, if they see this and see that exhibition, they're going to be thinking like, wait a minute, I thought that was the world champion. Oh, wait a minute, that is
Right.
the world champion. It's going to probably cause some.
He's reaching. He's reaching for something.
It's going to cause some confusion
Okay.
for actual fans, because if I'm a casual fan and I see this person open the show, but I see the other person close, but wait, I thought that was the world champion, and vice versa. If the X Division
Right.
opens the show and the world champion closes, or the world champion is in the mid of the card, it might cause some debates to say, kind of like when Jay Lethal was the ROH television world champion,
Television champion. Yeah.
and how he carried it like it was the world title and confused a lot of casual fans and even made you say, wait a minute. He might be onto something. This might be is a point of contention, or it might be point of it, especially with look how TNA just stands out. The point that I'm trying to make, look at the red X. It just draws your eyes more to it than the globe does on the world title. And I think because the champion banner is more prominent on the X Division, and now that they're both in gold, it's gonna be kind of tough. It's gonna be tough. And he's just gonna keep adding them. I'm glad I'm not the only one that's like obsessed with belts.
Right.
Look, Hugh, I see his TNA title, and I raised him a TNA title, and I see that X Division. Hold on, and I raised him an X Division. We can do this all night. So hold on,
I love it.
I need Stephanie Hardy here because she's the queen of holding the belts. I'm gonna just do it like this. Oh, these things are heavy, but aren't belts fun? Here.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, what other questions you got? Because I can't do this. One of these is actually Hugh's belt, so I actually received my own. There you go, Dwayne. There's your notes for tomorrow. He's probably gonna start on the show. Where is it? Let me see it. Where is it?
I'm intrigued. I can sit here and listen to stories all daggone night, but I ain't trying to keep you all that long.
I got
but young brother.
That's the thing. This is
we're gonna have to wrap. We're gonna have to wrap. Yes, sir. Yes, we're gonna have to talk for sure. But tell the good people where they can find you.
This one.
Is that the moose?
You can find us at Instagram, Snaps and Straps LLC, or at @thereal_belt collector. Facebook, you can find us at Snaps and Straps LLC. But we're majority. We are on Instagram, so if you guys want to contact us directly, we'll respond quicker on IG. I do have somebody running our Facebook page now, so if you want to talk to me directly, you can hit up my personal account or, like I said, contact. But yeah, other than that, we kind of just stay in a couple of areas. We don't have a website. We don't, like I said, we're not here to sell belts to people, unfortunately.
Right.
But everything has a price. So if
You sound like Ted DiBiase.
if you got some money to blow, hit me up. I got you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got anything else, Brandon? I mean, brother guy.
Which Brandon?
I can't say. That's why I had to switch it up. Brother guy.
You walk into that. I love it when Brandon's on because it just makes everything so much better.
So I got a question. How did your parents come up with Brandon? Where did they get the name from?
So it's actually it's a hilarious story. So my mother was giving birth, and once she had me, she told my father, well, his name is going to be Dennis. And my father said, you can't do that because I already have a Dennis. And my mother kind of looked at him, and so she said, oh, I guess I'll go with the other name, Brandon. And that's how I got named Brandon. I was supposed to be Dennis Guy Jr., but my father already had a junior, so he was like, yeah, you can't do that. So that's how, he's spun around. So that's how I got my name Brandon. But ironically, you just remembered my middle name. And this is how I know I told you the story here. My middle name is my grandfather's name with one letter different. So my mother wanted to pay homage to her grandfather, my great-grandfather, and give me his middle name. But she was like, if I spell it that way, it wasn't going to work out too well. So she definitely made it a little cooler. So I give her credit for that one. But that's how I'm brand. My initials are actually Bag.
So my mom had given birth, and she was laid up in a hospital, and Pippi Longstockings came on. And if you don't know, that Pippi Longstockings' dog is named Brandon. So I was named after a fucking dog. So I think your story is much cooler than me being named after a goddamn dog. So.
Oh snap, bro! I wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't expecting that, but I'm just
white people.
My mom watches the show. I'm telling you, my mom watches the show. She's probably gonna call me and say, "Why did you tell that story?" I'm like, "Well, you told me. That's how I got my name." So,
yeah, she creeps. I'm sure I'll get a text or a phone call this morning. Why are you talking about me?
He said, "Where the heck did them TNA championships go?" Look who's in the comments. I told you.
Oh yeah, there you go.
He's talking to you, or he's talking to me? Because you got more than me.
I don't know which Brandon he's talking to. Hold up. Why am I reading this in Dwayne's voice?
We just know he's talking to a Brandon. That's it.
So Dwayne Allen is the other host of Championship Culture, but he loves to disrupt his other show of Championship Culture. I'm sorry, he's the other host of the Wrestling Realm, but he's actually the other third of Championship Culture. Part of when we are trios, because sometimes. Most of the time we a tag team, but sometimes you got to tag the third part there, and that's who the real Dwayne Allen is. And as you can see, tomorrow, if you tune into Wrestling Realm flagship show, the Wrestling Realm Now podcast, I know the realness will have notes. And when I tell you he has notes every time, he said, I need a head count. Bring them all back. I need. So, realness, I do have my belt that I receive, but I also have Hugh's belt. The one that I unboxed for Christmas. I'm going to see how long it takes for him to get it. So the unboxing episode was
I'm going to show up at your door. I'm going to show up at your door.
See my fucking belt in that wall, boy. You hear me?
You lucky that Trios. You lucky that Trios one didn't make it. You lucky because that Trios belt, it was on fire. So in realness, this is mine that I received because I had to get my own after I saw how. Still has that new belt smell. So this is actually mine. So don't worry, realness. It'll be on the Wrestling Realm Now podcast tomorrow because I love that. First off, I love the X-Division design. I actually got this one by accident, but I still love it.
Have you done a video of your whole belt collection? Have you done like a
on Championship belt? It's probably about a year. I did a speed through walkthrough of it because they had a Makers Monday, and one of the creators of Championship Belt Brothers asked me to record it. So it's about what was it, like 2 minutes or something? I did a walkthrough of them, but that's when I was closer to 150, and I said I'm gonna get down to 140. I feel like I'm still in that 140 range, but I think I'm gonna get down to like 100. Hint, hint.
He's lying.
I
He's
think
lying.
I am. I'm gonna get down. I can
He's
get
gonna be
down
up
to
to
100.
150 next week.
So how many
Shut
belts have you had the most? How many?
So if you count the WWE Network ones, I had the most of those. But the belt that I've had the most of has probably been the IWGP US Championship because I really love that belt, and I'm down to just two. But my first two, one sold, one went to Hollywood, and then I kept the last two. But I really love that design of that belt. And I guess the AEW and the United States are a second, close second for as many AEW versions I've had.
So, how many belts total do you have in your inventory? Like your own personal collection?
And why we asking those type of questions? Because that's going to incriminate me, and we don't
No,
want to have
come on,
that
bro.
conversation.
Come on, bro.
You call it with your questions, because then he's going to say, "I knew you had something else."
You're just a chill guy.
I knew you had
Like wrestling
I know.
belts.
Look, see,
Yeah.
this is the type of stuff that you bring up. He got four
That's
more on the way
you
right
see what
now.
I'm saying? Absolutely. He's
I
lying.
do not. I do not.
Okay.
I do not. See, this is why I didn't
Right.
want to start this, because now this becomes the topic of conversation. Only Dwayne would say something like that. But I will say this: I have given, and he will tell you, I have given away a lot of belts.
Given?
I have given away.
Yeah.
Season 1, I gave good friend of mine a belt because he didn't have any championship belt. Season 2, we gave away a big gold. And season 3, I don't know if we're doing a giveaway.
And that's one thing I love doing is giving back. And soft ground pro wrestling in Uganda, we donated 2 tag team belts for them, and it goes on and on of what we do for the community, and people that if they can't afford a belt, or we try to accommodate everybody the best way we can, to help them out. But like I said, if it's donation belt, it's not the top of the line, stuff that we do. But I'm going to do the best I can, because I can just claim all that at the end of the year. So, I'm all about donating and giving back and helping people. But some people will take it for granted, or so
Right.
or they expect free shit. So you gotta separate yourself from those types of people, and to the ones that actually deserve it and will appreciate it. Because I've had fucking times where I've hooked up a wrestler, and then they go and try to flip it on at a wrestling event, or show, or the WrestleCade, or whatever the fuck it's called, or secretly behind my back. Like that's one thing that kind of pisses me off. But yet they paid for it, I get it. But if you were gonna do that, then the price would have been different, or now I have to do my contracts. If you have a belt of mine and you try to sell it, we have to split commission. So I've seen one of my belts go on eBay for 10 G's. So it's just something you have to be mindful of when dealing with the outside world, and doing this type of job. It's frustrating at times. It can be very tiresome, but at the end of the day, is this what you really love to do? And I really love to do this, so I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm going to keep providing what I can for people in promotions, and etc.
And it's always good because that's where, and he might agree with me, where championship culture started, because wanted to educate, entertain, and give back all at the same time. Because there's nothing like the belts that I've gifted people have been for various reasons. Like in the first season when I gave away the IWGP Intercontinental, He just had a baby, trying to brought a new house and everything. So I was like, hey, you need a belt to go in your house. You're doing all the right things. I know that this isn't at the top of your list to purchase a belt now, but guess what? Here you go. And even when it comes to Channel from Four Sides of the Ring, they were going to an AEW show, and you could tell the excitement of them going. And I had just said, hey, you want to borrow a belt? And he knows I'll let you take a belt to the show. I don't care. It's not a big deal. But something happened that he freaked out so much about it. And I said, dude, it's okay. It's not that serious. He's like, oh my God, I'll pay you for it. I said, Channel, it's not that serious. It's a belt. You know what I mean? Like, if I didn't want to take that risk of letting you go to the show with him, because I know the excitement of having a belt at a show, if I could help somebody with any part of that, sure, of course. Now, some belts will never leave the house, like the spinner that's been signed by Jeff Hardy, the Intercontinental signed by Chris Jericho, pre-AEW Chris Jericho, I will say. They'll probably never leave the house. But everything else is pretty much, I look at it, if I couldn't replace it, I wouldn't let it out of my sight. So something happened. It was, when I say minor, beyond belief minor. And then I texted him and said, well, enjoy your belt. And he was like, what do you mean? I said, you can keep it. And just to see his reaction to it, that's where, and when I talk about everybody has a story, that's something always attached to it. He asked me, we went to the last ROH show here in Baltimore, and he had one version, I had the other. And then just watching his face, he was like, do I really have to give it back? And then I was like, well, I'm very particular. It was missing like a stone or two. And I was like, I don't want this anymore. I got to get one that's correct. Yeah, you want this? He's like, heck yeah. So, but, just seeing somebody's excitement, and that's the belt on the wall. Look, that's the belt on the wall behind him under the white one.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But he's going to have that story that was the last ROH show. He took pictures with that belt. It was in the season 1 intro. Everything about these belts. And when we say every belt has a story, that's not just a catchphrase. That's real. Because you can always go back to a moment or remember when somebody held that belt. So it's always good to do that. And I'm always an opponent. And like, when I say I'm getting down, I just got to make a decision and say, all right, what do I want to let go? And a lot of times, dealing with these belt collectors, they're so finicky. Oh, can I see a picture of the belt at a 45-degree angle with the sun hitting it to make sure that the snap doesn't have a varnish on it? I'm like, but after all that, I'm like, who wants this belt? Somebody come get it. Because I don't even, I'll get to a point where I'll do a stack. And I'll say, look, I got 5 belts. And then Realness will be mad if he gets it. He'll be mad. And then I think one time, Brian answered the phone first, so he got first dibs. But it's just a matter of, hey, who's going to get some satisfaction out of it that I know I'm going to need to pass on to somebody else? Because at the end of the day, these are all nice and, great and all. But if somebody else had it,
dead cow and metal. That's all it is. At the end of the day, people, it's metal and dead cow. So for people to get in such an uproar and negativity and just the you don't make wrestling fun. You're the people that destroy wrestling. Belt critics that hate a belt so bad that they have to make videos about it, that they have to make themselves feel important. Like, half these people have no aspects or no hand in this wrestling industry at all. All they have is their opinion, and that's great. You are entitled to your opinion, and we thank you for giving your honest and utmost opinion of what you feel just about any belt, not just our belts. But to sit there and critique somebody, and as a person, not the belt, but as a person, like, you have serious mental problems. So that goes to anybody, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Like, if you have that much of a vendetta of a belt or something that just makes you so infuriated that you have to make a post about it and showcase your frustration, you have a problem. Touch grass, breathe in air, like, just relax.
Like, it's going to be okay. Because Ben said it best, but I'm not going to repeat it. Ben said it best, and we're going to leave his comment on there for everybody to read. And this is the founder.
It goes for all wrestling groups. It goes for all, like, those type of people have destroyed this wrestling community. I have seen it with my own fucking eyes. Just, you get off topic of the belt and you get into a personal argument about somebody, about what they look like, about how they are, how they carry themselves, what they do, what they eat. Like, it's fucking tin and fucking dead cow. Like, it's not that serious. So like, if you're doing this for a living, then you have to deal with all of that on top of, you know, making promotions happy, making wrestlers happy, you know. So it's too much to take in, and so that's why we like to just sit back. We're not in the belt groups. We're not showing off. I don't post anything in belt groups. I don't post any of my work. I don't post anything that we do. There's no reason to. If your work is that good, it's gonna show itself. And we've, like I said, this the last 2 days we've had more positive than negative. So we're not gonna let that negative shit affect our day-to-day, you know, how we run our day-to-day business, because we're already on to the next one. We're not focused on the X Division anymore. As you can see, it's in my case. It's never gonna come out. It hardly ever comes out. I took it out because we're doing the show. But this belt, dude, is already in the past. Like, for any other person, yeah, they're gonna hold on to these belts. Like, you know, like I said, I'm not gonna call anybody out, but you know, if one promotion is all you have and you're holding on to that, you're giving up other promotions and other opportunities because you're only seeking out just that one promotion. So as you're doing that, I'm taking over everything. So, and I have a goal set out for this year, and I'm going to make that goal. We've accomplished all of our goals in the 4 years we've been in business. We haven't missed a goal. So this year I'm out for 2 promotions, and I'm going to get them with hard work and communication, because the way you talk nowadays is very, very important on the future of yourself and your business. So, you know, you have to take everything with a grain of salt, and you have to remember who you are and what your main objective was when you first started being a belt collector. And that's just this isn't just for me. This is for if you're an owner, if you know you go to work every day, you have a 40-hour job, like you have to apply a very strict method to your everyday living so that the outside noise doesn't affect your day-to-day business. So, you know, with that, like, I'm a very positive person. But when somebody wants to purposely attack me and not the belt, like I said, get help. Touch grass, eat a donut, watch some TV, and just calm down.
He told that man to eat a Krispy Kreme. That's crazy.
Krispy Kreme's fucking all right. Krispy Kreme's are bad. Unless you ain't getting them from the goddamn actual facility.
You started.
Dude, I'm a donut advocate, okay? I'm surprised I am not 500 pounds. I eat donuts almost literally every day. And
see, I didn't know that. Now we need to know what's the best donut out there. Where's the best spot to get a donut?
Weakness, bro. I can show you right now, bro. I got fucking donuts. I don't fucking play. Like, this month is Mardi Gras month. So you got the custard apple, and then you got the raspberry. And then you got the cake, the New Orleans cake. This is my favorite time of the year. So you get them.
Did you say he just lit up?
Right. Did you see it?
Yeah, he just lit up.
Bro, fat kid.
He's so happy. And I just want to address one thing before we get out of here. He said, you make me feel even more better about the Red Universal Championship. Ain't nothing wrong with that belt, because guess what? That belt will always be attached to whatever store you got it for. So just keep that in mind.
There it is. There it is.
Wait a minute. Never say Krispy Kreme is top tier, because as a North Carolina, it's not Krispy Kreme. I won't stand for it. So you must have a lot of Krispy Kremes within arm's length because getting them from Rural Farms sucks. But if you go to the store, it's a different experience. What I tell you, every time I pass through Bowie, I want to stop, right?
If you haven't had a Publix donut, my guy, you're missing out on life. You need to go to your nearest Publix and buy a 6-pack of either chocolate or glazed donuts. It will change your aspect on Krispy Kremes, and you'll never go back to Krispy Kremes again.
Oh, dang. You know, I'm gonna be reaching out to you soon. Once I go do that, it's a wrap. We become donut buddies. Yep.
Bro, I bought the Krispy Kreme.
Like you have a jelly bean friend? You got jelly bean friend, then you got donut
trash.
Oh, that's why. Thanks.
Donuts,
North Carolina is home of Krispy Kreme. That makes sense. Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And there ain't no Krispy Kreme with the light on. And then Justin said, "Hey, warm Krispy Kreme with some ice cold milk makes your stomach bubble." That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Right.
If it ain't coming from the facility, I don't want it. Like I said, I ain't trying to dog Krispy Kreme, but if it ain't coming from the fucking facility where I don't see that thing get hit in that glaze going onto that conveyor and then into the bunch of other donuts, and then right into my gore, I don't want it.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that one.
But as you can see, if you make a comment, we do respond. And we always want to make sure that you comment any questions because you never know who's going to be on Championship Culture or what's the topic going to be, right? And don't forget to hit that subscribe so you never miss a chance when we go live. And tune in every Tuesday to Championship Culture. I wonder why is that here? Every Tuesday, right? Every Tuesday, because if they follow, because if they follow us on all social media platforms, they can tune in and know when to tune in. And until next time, keep your eye on the gold and remember,
every bell has a story.
There you go.
I thought he froze right there. He was like this, like
because I was waiting for him to finish it. Wait.
We out of here.
Go over to Instagram and follow us at championshipculture_. And don't forget, check out youtube.com/therwrestlingrun. Look for the playlist for Championship Culture. And remember, every belt has a story.